Hi everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. So, from today onwards, I am starting a video series of Android development from scratch. So, I will follow this article especially. So, this article is written by Azim Siddiqui. He is a very talented Android developer in the community. So, it's his website where he mentor different developer. He also have some industry standard courses and lots of other things. You can check out this website. Okay, so I am currently at one of his blog article where he have written an in-depth roadmap of Android development in 2026. So in this roadmap he shared the very important skills that we need as a developer to jumpstart or get a job as an Android developer. So for the next few months, I guess, or this month, I will follow this article to learn. Also, if you want to code along with me, you can continue to do so. So, so this purpose of making this video is because I want to follow, I mean, vibe code, you can say, or I just want to record what I learn along the way. Also, this will also improve my communication skill. Okay. I also have stammering issue on which will eliminate if I speak like this. Also, it will, if any one of brother loves boring videos, lengthy videos, but you learn a lot, you can just follow along with me. I will use ChatGPT for the maximum of the time, from very basic syntax to very complex problem. So let's see how these videos turn out to be. Okay, so first let's go to the article. Okay, so this job ready under developer roadmap 2026 XML Kotlin Compose MBBM. ठीक है ना? I might use some Hindi word in between, so just to let you know. So roadmap to become a job ready developer. So this roadmap is designed for senior and the SD perspective. It covers only what is genuinely required to become an industry ready under development 2026. No academic noises, no unnecessary depth, no outdated practice. So by the end of this roadmap, you should be able to build real world Android app from scratch, write clean, maintainable product, great code, understand how Android works internally at the right depth, crack Android interview, fresher to mid level, confidently explain and defend your project. Important note: Java and XML must have for Android developer. Java is still commonly asked in Android interview, especially for fundamentals like hopes, collection, and problem solving. Even though Kotlin is primary language today, having basic Java knowledge is mandatory to clear interviews and understand legacy Android code. So yeah, most of the Android and most of the legacy code are written in Java, and still they have not been migrated to Kotlin. So basically, I have did two internship, both are using in Java. So last not both, but for the initial and second company they are using Java, and the internship I did in Oil Labs they are using Kotlin. So the point is that Java is still needed for from some companies. Those are using legacy code. Similarly, XML is a must-have skill for a developer. Most companies are still using XML-based layouts in production app, and many existing are heavily written in XML. Yes, that's correct. Key takeaway: basic Java knowledge is mandatory for interview. XML is mandatory for real-world Android job. Every Android developer must have hands-on experience with XML. Jetpack Compose is more than important, but XML cannot be skipped. The roadmap ensures an interview-ready, industry-ready, not just tutorial-ready. So basically, at the very initial thing we'll do is to learn Java. So let's go through this article once, then I will fire up the IntelliJ IDE and write some code. Okay. So he mentioned Phase Zero Programming Foundation in his roadmap that in 15 and 20 days we need to focus on core Java. Objective is become comfortable with programming fundamental. Code Java, basic syntax, variable data, operator, conditional loops, array, string. And then we'll do object-oriented, non-negotiable. It's needed, of course. Classes and object encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, interface, and abstract classes. ठीक? And then function, method, exception handling, collection, release, hash map, multi-threading, conceptual understanding only. JDBC file IO applet is don't need it. So and then phase one is Kotlin development. So today we'll start from phase 0, which is programming foundation in Java. Okay, code Java and object-oriented programming in Java. Okay, and then we'll learn Kotlin. So I cannot go through this article. You can just read from his blog. So let's quickly go through this bullet point. Phase 1 is Kotlin for Android development. Git and GitHub, Gradle build system. Phase 2 is Android fundamental. Okay. Git, GitHub, UI XML, view binding, code concept. Phase 3 is UI navigation and experiences, shape, XML gradient, UI enhancement, animation, etc. Recyclable, fragmented navigation, navigation component, nav host, nav controller, nav graph, and then jetpack, compose mode on UI. Phase 4, learn about lazy layout, animation, and lots of other things. Phase 5 is data, network, and local storage. So networking is REST API, JSON, retrofit, interceptor, image loading, Glide, Picasso, local storage is DAO, shared preferences, room database, web view, convert website to apps, just a simple thing. So I uploaded a web view application on Play Store, but they rejected it. I don't know it's still useful or what. So yeah, phase 6 is Android system component, duration 10 days, services, broadcast receiver, notification and channel location based, dialog calendar, data API, Google Maps, Android system component. Okay, architecture in industries level Android most important phase MBBM, just for separation of concern. I'll talk about this when I am into that category, into this lesson. Okay, coroutine and flow for the background task dependency injection, hilt, background work manager, one time, the pagination, phase it, Firebase in real times, Firebase auth, phone, email, Firestore, Firebase storage, Firebase analytics, performance, security and release, performance optimization, memory leaks, leak causes, ProGuard, app variable, APK versus AB, signed APK, Stennis project. So along the way, we need to build some project, QR code generator, QR code scanner, Qt app, intermediate project, news app, notes app, blog app, advanced project, e-commerce app, Instagram clone, Google Drive, like app using fast storage product must include MBBM for clean architecture, coroutines for background tasks, retrofit for network core, proper error handling for good edge cases, not to making sure not to get ANR, the clean architecture for good separation of concern and testable code. Phase 11 is Android system design. What is system design? How to approve design Android app. Interview strategy, system design, just how to approach defined problem. I mean, how the data will come and how we need to handle it and this kind of thing. How well we handle those data coming from local storage or from the REST API. Phase 12 is career interview preparation, interview sheet, resume template, etc. LinkedIn optimization, mock interview, personal career strategy, referral, support. I have not took this part ever, but this time I need this final job ready checklist. You are job ready when you can build them independently. You understand activity fragment life cycle. You use MBVM confidently. You handle API and local storage. You can debug crashes. You can clearly explain your project. Note: this roadmap is better tested, industry aligned. It will help you get in 20 LP and 50 LP jobs as Android developer. Follow it with discipline. Build real project. You will be job ready. Want to become job ready? So he also offer a 10-week bootcamp. Focus on real architecture. I am planning to join his program next month. And interview preparation, you will learn how senior engineer designed this on an explain and the system, not just write code and roll it. So yeah. So what I will do today, as I have already said, you will learn about Java. Okay. So basic Java knowledge is mandatory. One question that came to my mind is Java Android compiler break down the code into Java bytecode. Does Kotlin could also convert to bytecode to be run on Android? Let's ask ChatGPT. So that's the beauty of AI. Now Jetpack Compose code does not convert directly to Java bytecode. Here is what actually happens. You write UI in Kotlin, compose. The Kotlin compiler compiles your code into JVM bytecode. The Kotlin compiler compiles your Kotlin code into JVM bytecode, not Java source or Java bytecode specifically, just JVM bytecode. Okay, JVM bytecode. The compose compiler plugin transform a compose function during compilation so that the composition logic added state taking way of optimization. JVM bytecode is then converted to the JVM bytecode is then converted to the Android build tool which runs on the Android runtime. So what happens actually is compose Kotlin code, compose compiler plugin test first, Kotlin compile JVM bytecode. So it takes to an Android runtime. Compose doesn't generate XML layout, of course. Kotlin doesn't convert into Java code. Compose doesn't convert into Java code. Let's ask that if Kotlin converts into Java code. So JVM bytecode is also a Java code, right? I think this bytecode can run on the JVM. The JVM bytecode, same type used in Java. Correct. JVM bytecode is not Java code, so there are different things. Okay. JVM bytecode. I thought JVM bytecode also Java code, but these are not. So let's see. Java code is human readable source code. Example in sum a plus b. JVM bytecode is low level instruction for Java virtual machine, not meant for human to write or read easily. Stored in .class file looks more like auto. Okay. The idea Java compiled into JVM bytecode. Kotlin also compiled into JVM bytecode. The JVM doesn't care whether the bytecode came from Java, Kotlin, or than JVM language. So simple analogy: Java, Kotlin, English, or Hindi human language. And JVM bytecode is machine instruction for JVM. So JVM bytecode is compiled output, not Java source code. Okay. If I do interviews for both Java and Kotlin compiled to same JVM bytecode, which is then converted to Dask for Android. So JVM is necessary for Android, right? No, JVM is not necessary to run Android apps. Here is the correct at runtime. Android doesn't use standard JVM. It uses ART Android runtime. Kotlin, Java source code, JVM bytecode. That's bytecode ART as equals the app. So JVM bytecode is just an intermediate step during compilation. This app runs on the device of the JVM is mainly used during compilation. Okay, compilation पे use होता है, and some build tool and kernel run on JVM, but end user device doesn't run upon JVM. I mean, in Android Studio to build app, you need JVM. Yes, to build an Android app in Android Studio, the JVM is required. Now, why JVM is needed? Android Studio and its tool runs on JVM. Gradle, the build system, runs on the JVM. The Kotlin compiler runs on the JVM. Many Android build tools are written in Java, and it is equal JVM. So Android Studio, Gradle runs on JVM, Kotlin, Java. Compilation JVM or to APK to build in time. Build time JVM required. Runtime only by JVM is not used. ART runs on the app application runtime. Short answer is yes, JVM is required to build apps on, because Gradle compiles run, but Android apps themselves runs on the ART if you are okay. So the point of this conversation with ChatGPT is Android code, Android Kotlin code and Android Java code both has to go through JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So JDK is required. Let's ask. So Java Development Kit is required. Yes, JDK is required to build Android app. So Java Development Kit is required. So under the hood, Java JVM is required, JDK is required, because ultimately the Kotlin code compiles to Java JVM bytecode, and then dbr it, then desk file, then we build APK or AAB file. So modern Android Studio is JDK 17, currently standard on auto file setting. Okay. Now let me check what version of JDK I am using. Java version. Let's open the terminal and just paste this Java version is open JDK build 24.0.1 JDK version. Open JDK 25th को April में I have last updated this JDK. Okay, so that's it. Now let's jump start into the programming fundamentals. So what happens is, actually when we write code, coding is just human readable way to convert, say, our machine to convert code into machine readable format, and then it's go to JVM, and then we build APK or the AAB file. So programming is a low level thing. We just give instruction to our code, and rest the compiler, the other APIs does the good work, heavy work. It's like abstraction. We have to give the instruction, and the heavy task, building, compiling, running, is done by other different component or libraries or APIs that are installed. Okay? So what we have to do is to learn the programming. So code Java, let me open the IntelliJ IDEA to write some Java code. So what you can do is to, if you don't know where to write your Java code, you can install IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition. Okay, its Community Edition is free. You can write here. You can see I've also created another practices. So let me create a new project. Select Java, name it Java practice. Git repository, only to create Git repository. Add a sample code. It's using OpenJDK 2024. Great. Advanced setting. Don't need to create. Okay. So let's create a Java code. Wow, it's so fast. What I need to do is to have some comment that has been generated by itself. Let me delete those comment. Tip. Oh, they've given printf. We use println. Hello. Well, let's give it println. Okay. So system out println. So public static void main. This is our entry point of our Java code. So here this output is hello and welcome Java. There's a loop that's created which will go through 5 times. Let's run this application and let's see what it outputs we get. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, 5 times I is printed, and initially it is printed hello and welcome. This line. Now let's ask ChatGPT basic syntax of Java. So yeah, here is a quick basic syntax of Java. You can get started. Basic structure of Java program. Every Java program has a class and a main method. So here you can see like a class and the main method. There is a class, and inside this class there is a main method. Okay, so every Java has a class and main method. So public class hello world, public static void main string arg. So class container of the code. Class container of the main is the entry point of the program where you will call other function. System of println, just print the output. Okay, so here is how we create variable in Java. Int age 25 double price auto car auto, and a string is animation taken away. So these are called primitive type. Common type is Android integer, int, double, decimal, car, auto, boolean, true and false. Boolean is just true and false, and string is okay. So let's print here. So these are primitive type. Okay. Int, double, char, boolean, and short is also there. You can see. Short. I need to add semicolon, but we don't need semicolon for Kotlin code. So if else condition, if this is true, print this, and else this. Okay, and there is a loop and this kind of thing, method function. Result, creating an object, calling the method, creating object class. I want to Difference between primitive and data types in Java. What are data types in Java? You know? See, I wanted to tell you this. Okay, in Java, data types are defined. Data types define the type of data a variable can store. Java types typically mainly divided into two categories. Primitive data type. These are basic built-in types that store simple values. We use maximum of the time we used this. Okay. As I have said, string is not a primitive. There you can see these all are primitive data type started with lowercase letter at first. Okay, but in S is uppercase, which is not primitive. It is non-primitive data types. Okay. So this these are basic built-in data types stored simple value. Byte 1 it's stored one size, 1 byte short, 2 byte int, 4 byte long, 8 bytes. You have to explicitly mention L as a floating point which decimal places. Double is 8 byte. Car is 2 byte for single character. Boolean is 1 byte logical. So it's car. I've not added here. This is care. It's already there. I've already mentioned it. So these are the different data types. These are all primitive data type. Okay? These are all primitive data type, and string is a non-primitive data type. Int, number, double, salary, car, letter A. These are all primitive data type, starting with a lowercase first letter. So the non-primitive data type is reference data type. So this stores reference to an object. For example, string, arrays, class, interface. For example, is this. These are reference data type, string. So if we click on the int, if we go to the declaration of a reference data type, it's a reference. So that's why I press the command and then click on this string. I've taken to a different string.java classes. See, it's a reference. Okay, wait a second. Let me see. It's a reference. So public class. It's a public class final that implements serializable. Serialization is a concept that we can serialize, deserialize is another concept which it's a high level concept. I will touch upon this topic later, but this is a very beginner friendly. So this will is used to character storage. String. So if I press on the string, if I hold the cursor and press command, I will go to its implementation. So this is a reference. Okay, but short we can't go to its implementation because it's not a reference variable, it's a primitive type. Okay, these are all primitive and this is string is non-primitive. So hope you got the idea. So non-primitive reference data type is string. Arrays is also a non-primitive. I think something has gone wrong. He should have given the capital letter int here, not this one. Okay, he should have given the integer is a small letter. So what about, see, the ChatGPT also make mistake. Means the array of integer object. It's these are all object. Okay. Wrapper class we can call these are primitive type. Java provides wrapper classes for all primitive type. So what is integer is a wrapper classes for the primitive type int. Java provides a wrapper classes for all primitive type. Int, there is a wrapper classes of integer, int, integer, double, double, float, float, and character. Okay, these are all wrapper classes object. So you can see int a is 5 and integer is it's an object. Difference between int and integer. Primitive array int number 1 2 3 4 stores raw value faster. This is faster, less memory. It's memory efficient. Object array integer number stores object can use method like numbers.i.toString can store null. Example, although this is not possible with int. When we do use integer in Android Java, common cases collection. Collection like list, integer, list array. Collection cannot use primitive type, only object. Collection means we have to add tons of data, then we use collection. So integer is wrapper classes for primitive type in integer is an array. Integer is an array of object while int stores primitive value. Integer is an array of object which stores primitive value. So the string is also a wrapper class. Let's ask it. No, string is not a wrapper. What is a wrapper class? A wrapper class is a class that wraps a primitive data type into an object. So there is no primitive data type of string, right? So it's not a wrapper class. So here it's clearly mentioned that string is not a wrapper class. Still, it's start with capital letter S, right? Like those wrapper classes. So what is a wrapper class? A wrapper class is a class that wraps a primitive data type into an object. Primitive data type into an object. So int, double, double, character, boolean, boolean. Okay, this exists because primitive are not object. And sometimes Java needs object, for example in collection. So that's why we need those. Now what is string then? Right? String is a regular class in Java. String name auto. It doesn't wrap any primitive type. Of course, we've seen there is no string like this. See, I mean, there's no string like this, right? We need to capitalize it. String. Pop. We need to capitalize it. So string is a regular class in Java. It doesn't wrap any primitive type. It represents a sequence of character and provides many methods like name.len to uppercase. Key difference. Wrapper class wraps primitive type. I mean primitive type has, as we have already discussed, are int, char, short. What are other? Integer, double, float, char, boolean, long. Okay. So key difference is wraps primitive type, doesn't wrap primitive. Example integer double, example string, used for converting primitive type to object. Yes, used for converting primitive type. So sometimes in Android or in Java, while using collection, you need to convert the primitive type to object or match this type to other. I mean match this type to its wrapper object. So that's why we need those wrapper classes. Okay? Used for text handling. String is used for text handling and is to convert primitive to object. So one more interesting point often asked. String is immutable, cannot be changed once created. String is immutable, cannot be changed once created. Store the string pool for memory optimization. Okay, string is immutable, cannot be changed once created. Okay, interview friendly. String is not a wrapper class. String not a wrapper class. It's a standard Java class used to represent text, while wrapper classes are used to converting primitive type to object. So hope you got the idea. What is wrapper class and what is primitive type? So let's come to the other topic that we are discussing is basic Java syntax, right? So we've seen the hello world classes, and inside this there is a main method which is the entry point of every Java program. Okay, and we've seen the variable and data types. These are primitive data type, and we also seen the wrapper classes of it. String is not a primitive; it's a standard Java classes used to store text only. Got the idea, right? If else condition. So if else is simple. If not this, then this. Okay. Let me copy this code and just delete it. So we've given, so this is a variable. We have assigned a variable int with initial value of 18, and the name of this variable is age. So we have created a logic is if age is greater than equal to 18, system will print an adult, right? Else minor. So greater than is equal to 18. If someone is, if the age is 18, greater than 18 or 18, he or she is an adult. Else he or she is minor. So we have assigned to 18, and the expected output will be adult, right? Because there's equal to sign here, greater than or equal to. So he or she is adulting. Now if we give it 16, which is less than 18, less than or equal to 18, it will print minor. See, the minor is printed. So it's a conditional expression. Okay? This is a conditional expression in Java. We also have loops. Loops means we have to, loop create multiple, run our code multiple times until the final, until the, until this kind of, this value is hit. Okay, until the condition that you have set is not hit, not executed. I guess so. That's the perfect way to put in. For example, it's a for loop. There's a three kind of loop available in Java: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So for is int I, we initialize initial value is 0 and less than 5 I plus plus. So this will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 4 times it will print. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we give if we have given equal to, less than or equal to, then 5 will also print. 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, the 5 is also printed. So that is for loop for you. While loop, while loop. So in most of the cases we use for loop, but while loop we can also see while loop actually we just put the condition in the, wait, let me print it. So we have initially declared the I value, which is 0, and why I less than equal to 5 is less than equal to 5. It's, if it's true, then it will go to this kind of this code block, and before closing the code block we increase the loop to 1, that is I will be 1, then I will be 2, then I plus plus I will be 3, then I plus plus I will be 4, I plus plus 5, and when I plus plus 6, then I will be 6, and 6 is greater than equal to 5, right? So this condition would turn out to be false, and it will not learn this code block. Okay, so that's the way it will exactly print like did with the for loop. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the while loop. Here is a function. These are static method. Static method are simple that we can static method is simple. We don't need to declare the object of it. We can directly call it. Just to wait a second, I'll tell you. It is returning int, so we can define int. Result is add 5 plus 5 5 5 print println is for Kotlin, so I have been used to Kotlin, that's why I added. So you can put the s out and call the result variable in the println. We'll see it will print 10. See 10. Okay. Now because it's a static, we have called it's a little italic. You can see the add method is function add method is turned out to be italicized because we have called it. We call the static method. Okay. So into result add. So if we have not given this to static, we have to declare the object of it. So now before calling it from an object, before calling its object and removing the static, I want to show you what if we gave it a double. So it will turn out to be, it will convert into double, which is, it will convert to be double. Let's see. So auto boxing and unboxing, there's a concept of in Java. So it is automatically converting from int to double. So but if we have given short, it is giving a compile time error. That's what it says. Provided int required type is short, but I have provided int because int is returning, because add static function is returning int, but I am assigning it to short primitive type, which it cannot be possible. But for the case of double, it's possible. Is because it's converting internally. It's using auto boxing and unboxing feature of Java. It's like a magic. But if we give other string as well, it will still show us error. Okay? So required type is string, but we provided int. But we can also change this wrap. We can also use the wrapper. Wrap using string dot value of. Okay, string as an extension function. You can say converting the integer. Okay, value of add converting the int value. So let's see the implementation of this, which is returning value of its integer. It is converting the integer wrapper to string. Integer wrapper class to string. It's converting integer to string. So integer to string in this block, and then we can use this. We can use this as string and to print it as string, but we are not doing it. We have to keep it simple primitive type int, not in a wrapper class. Add 5 plus 5 10. 5 plus 5 is 10. So that's it. So I have used a method. What I have added the basic syntax of Java. So that's called object. So I want to show you, instead of calling the static directly, I need to remove it. Right. Let's see. So we cannot call the non-static inside the static. So we have to create is to create a now create an object of it, and then we created the object of this class, and I've called the s dot add, so without making it a static. Result is 10. Let me give, if I give static, do you know what will happen? Let me see if it's run. Okay, it is still running, but what we can do is simple dot add, directly call it. Directly call this static without declaring its object. Object means without calling it constructor, because it's a static function. See? So that's it. I've already created the object of it. Here you can see ChatGPT has generated a simple class bike, and inside this bike there is a string variable, and there is a void ride function which returns nothing, and then calling this bike inside main, declaring the object, and then calling the ride. Okay. So already mentioned, this class is a blueprint of object. So here it is comment, single line comment and multi-line comment. Comment are simply to understand what this lines of code does. So there is a two kinds of comment: single line comment and multi-line comment. So these are simple thing. So you have got the idea about this, right? Let's see what else. So we have learned the basic syntax, variables and data types. Let's see. Let's paste variable and data types in Java. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. What is variable? Variables is a container used to store data in a program. The data type is variable name. So here is a variable. We've stored, what is this? Used to store data in a program. Used to store data. Here is a data, and here is a variable name. We've stored data to a variable. Okay. Here is a stored string in a string variable. Store integer in int variable. So data types in Kotlin, we have already discussed those topics. Java data types are divided into two categories: primitive data type, store actual value. These are primitive data type. It's a faster. Byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. Example this. And non-primitive data type, reference data type. This stores reference to an object. Example string, array, class, interface. Reference, number, reference data type. Rules for naming convention must start with letter auto and auto. Cannot start with number. Total marks less common in Java. Good. These are camel case. So when we declare a variable, we need to give it camel case. This is not good. This is not recommended, but this is on camel case letter. Camel case means first letter is lowercase, and if other if there is another word inside a data type, we need to give it uppercase. So this is the recommended way to declare a variable. So default value for integer double is auto, string is null, type casting, implicit casting, automatic, explicit casting. So it was typecasting. So before that we have seen that how this integer function, integer a function that returns an integer converted without any effort to double. So it was called casting. So int a auto, double b auto. This is automatic. This is automatic casting. This is explicit casting, double x int y equal to x int x. This is explicit casting. So Java variables store data and data types define with short data. So data types are mainly primitive and non-primitive auto, and there is also a wrapper class of it for the collection. If you want, I can make Java basic cheat sheet for the developer on these things. Interviews will ask. Don't need. So casting, there is something called casting is implicit casting, there's automatic casting, explicit casting. You need to define which type to cast in. Here we have converted double to int and then assigned the double variable, which is now int, to y variable. What is autoboxing and unboxing? Let's see. Autoboxing and unboxing feature in Java that automatically converts between primitive type and their wrapper classes. Autoboxing, converting a primitive into its wrapper object automatically. It's called autoboxing. For example, int a equal to 10, integer b equal to a is autoboxing into primitive to its wrapper classes. This is called autoboxing. Here is the Java automatically does. Integer b value of a, this autoboxing. Unboxing is converting a wrapper class back to its primitive. Converting a wrapper class back to its primitive automatically. Integer a20 b equal to a autoboxing. Unboxing from wrapper class to its primitive is called unboxing. From primitive to its wrapper class it's called autoboxing. Java internally does is b equal to a.int value. So why this is useful? Because collection only works with object, not primitive. So yes, collection only works with object, not primitive. That's why you need autoboxing and unboxing. It's a very powerful concept, very powerful Java concept that we have touched. Is autoboxing, unboxing, primitive to wrapper to primitive. Okay, and then we have also learned about implicit casting and explicit casting. Okay, implicit casting is automatically it's primitive to primitive other type. It's also primitive to other primitive type. It's called explicit casting, implicit casting. It's similar to like autoboxing and unboxing. So autoboxing is automatically conversion of primitive to wrapper classes, and unboxing is in reverse. It helps when working with collections of the page that requires object. So if you want, I can explain very common question and caching versus put integer caching and equal to, so because that question appears a lot. Don't need now. So basic syntax learned, variable and data types learned. We have learned more than that. Operator, let's talk about operator in Java. Let's see. Operators are symbol used to perform operation on variable and values. Java operators are mainly of this type. Arithmetic operator is for mathematical operation, plus addition, a plus b, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus, which gives us reminder. So a, b, a plus b 13, assignment operator to assign a value. This is assignment operator. A equal to 5 plus equal to is equal to a plus 5 minus 2 equal to a minus 5. So these are assignment operator. Example of this comparison is equal to if this equals, if this not equal, is greater than, less than, greater than equal, less than equal. So these are comparison operator, assignment operator, arithmetic operator. Okay. Comparison operator, logical operator, and if both side is true, then this will turn out to be a true. This is, I don't know, tilde. This is OR operator. You have not logical OR operator. You have not mentioned. Okay, no worry. Increment and decrement. Plus plus is increment by 1. Minus minus is decrement by 1. So ternary operator is if this, then this. Short of if else. So ternary operator, if not this, then this. This is short of if else condition. So instance of operator. The string name is hello. System of println is name instance of string. So true. It returns a true or false. So string is name. So we are checking that if name is instance of string, which is right. So yeah. Interview summary. Java operators include arithmetic, assignment, relational, logical, increment, decrement, ternary, and instance of. They are used to perform calculation, comparison, and logical operation. So that's about operator. Conditional statement. Conditional statement in Java. Let's see. So conditional statement lets your program to make decision based on condition. Main types is if else, switch. So if else already seen. Let's go to switch. So what happens to switch is, for example, we try and comparing one variable with multiple values. So we can also convert this switch into if else, but switch is much more convenient for this kind of use cases. So int date3. So we'll create a switch type, switch keyword, and putting the value int or any kind of boolean or any other primitive type value, and we check with defined cases, defined condition. So case is equal to 1 Monday, date 3, it will execute this Wednesday. So if you don't give break, then it will also, if you don't put the break, you have to put the break after each case. If you don't put break, then it will run also the other cases before the break appears. So it will also run this. If we remove this break, it will also execute this system of println, and it will hit break, and then it will program it. So let me copy this code and just delete this class and delete this as well. So day 3 it will print Wednesday. It will print Wednesday, yeah. Wednesday. If we remove the break statement, let's see what happens. It also printed the invalid day. Got it? Without break, if I continue, there is a CNTI. What happens? Continue is outside a loop. Oh, okay. Continue is outside a loop, so that's why it is not working. Wait a second. Why continue is not working? So this is the loop. Okay, I will come to continue why it was giving error. Break stop execution without break execution continues to next case fall through. Switch is string Java 7 plus string auto string rule case admin case auto break if switch is interview question if else works if passer switch works with any condition works with a fixed value good for ranges good for menus or option more flexible cleaner for many cases. Ternary operator if auto ternary is simple. If age is greater than auto, then print adult or minor. This is a very clean code. I mean, simple, convenient way. Single line expression. Why it is giving error? Let's ask ChatGPT. It's giving error. This error happens because of this line continue while skips. Continue can only be used inside for, while, and do while. A switch statement itself is not a loop, so Java doesn't know what to continue. Continue outside of a loop. Use break instead. Okay. One continue can be used inside loop. Inside for loop. Skip iteration. Continue skip the iteration. Output is 1 2 4 5 if 3, so 3 has been skipped. I equal to 3 1 2 3 just from the so that's the case of continue. Break exit loop or sweep skip the current loop iteration, so we cannot use continue inside switch. We can use inside the loop if else condition. Okay, so that's about conditional statement. Now let's talk about loops. We've already seen here. Still, because we are following this blog, so we have to go to each and every of it. So loops in Java. Loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. Java mainly has three types of loop: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. For loop is to when you know how many times to repeat. For example, initialization, condition, and update. Initialization is I equal to 0 1, then I less than equal to 5 or whatever, and update I plus plus, increment or decrement. Okay, for example, I equal to 1, okay, I less than equal to 5, so system print line will print 1 2 3 4 5. Got it? Now while loop is when the number of the iteration is not fixed. So here is a fixed value, right? Less than equal to 5, which is fixed. Then while loop is used when the number of iteration is not fixed. So while is I equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, iteration is not fixed. Which is also fixed, I mean 5. Initially I less than equal to 2. Iteration is not fixed, but this is also fixed, right? I don't know what's wrong with ChatGPT here, but less it is also fixed. Numbers where iteration is not fixed. Plus. The same as for loop. Do while loop is, so just go to do while loop, executes the code at least once, even if the condition is false. So do code while auto. So do while loop. So it will execute the condition even if the while loop is false. So I equal to 1 I plus plus. It will for each used for array or collection enhanced for loop. Int. This is a array of integer which contains numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and for int num equal to numbers, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is NS folder. It's a very powerful used in arrays or collection. Break and continue. So break and continue in loops stops the looping completely. For I equal to 1, I less equal to 5, I plus plus. If the condition, if the I hit at 3, then the program will not go further. It will break here. So 1 and 2. Continue with skip. So I equal to 1, I less equal to 5, I plus plus. If I iteration of I hit at 3, it will continue and stop until n is high. So 1, 2, 3 skipped, 3 is being skipped, 1, 2, 4 and 5. Want to use which? For iteration known, while condition based repetition, do while must run at least once for each array of list. Java provides for do while one is for loop to execute block of code repeatedly. Java provides for while do while and for loop to execute a block of code repeatedly. So a loop has been seen. We've gone through loops. Now let's talk about the arrays. Arrays in Java. So arrays is used to store multiple values of the same type in a single object. So declaring an array is this kind of symbol. So the type declare array I'm equal to int, creating an array of fixed size 5. This case an array that can store 5 integer. So int double boolean default value I used as for loop. If we skip 5 to this, it will give array index out of bound exception because it's actually 0 to 4, which is 5, 0 to 4, which is 5. But if we assign a fifth index, which is not which is the length of this is 5, so we cannot expand this because it's a fixed in size. So if we want to expand it, we will change the size, which is 6, size of the array. Now it will print. Now it will execute very easily. There you can see. So arrays also fixed size. This case array that can store 5 integer. Initialization array int numbers auto. Accessing element 0 array start from 0 index auto 0 system of numbers 0 0 auto update array 1 auto. loop through into the numbers, then the array is equal to number of length, and I plus plus length is 0 1 2 is 3 3, and so less than equal to 0 1 2. So it will print the 10 20 30 using for each loop and next for each loop and next for loop for interval. I have already shown you that array length is length. Array uses dot length, string uses dot length with curly braces, not curly braces, this what does it call, I don't know, this parenthesis. Multi-dimensional array, these are don't not needed. It's just while in college, while creating the multi-dimensional arrays, my brain got stuck here. Primitive versus object. So int a auto 1 2 3, this is very lightweight primitive, and object array is integer b used in collection, but this is memory rich and expensive task. String auto names ab, it's good. Important point, arrays have fixed size, index start at 0, all elements must have the same type, stored in a heap memory. An array in Java is a fixed in size. Array is a fixed size. Data structure is to store multiple values in the same type, access using index function. If you asked the next topic, when I don't have after the array list versus array, it's very commonly asked. What is heap memory? No, there is a concept called heap memory, right? Array is stored in heap memory. Thus, array list, which is a collection, thus ask, does array list also store in heap memory? What is heap memory? Does array also store in heap memory? What is heap memory? Java heap memory is an area memory where object and dynamic data are stored at runtime. Whenever you create something using new, it usually goes into the heap. So string name and string of the heap memory. Both object and array are stored in heap memory. Stack versus heap. Simple view. Stack, stored local variable, stores object faster, slightly slower. Larger memory size heap. Stack automatically clean. Is stored in a stack memory, but auto. So there is a simple view, stack versus heap memory. Heap memory is area that where object and dynamic data are stored at runtime, and the stack is compile time and stored at runtime. Heap memory is the memory where the object and dynamic data are stored at runtime. Stores local variable, stores object. Stack is faster, heap is slightly slower, automatically clean up. Garbage collector cleans memory, small size with larger area. Okay. So int a auto, a primitive type is stored in stack. The reference type int arr is a reference type. Stack actual array object. Heap. The array list, yes, array list in object, so it's stored in heap memory. The list of the integer is a new array list. What happens? List reference stack, array list object, list reference in stack, array list object in heap, internal array inside array list is heap memory. Why heap is used? Dynamic size object, dynamic size objects here between method, garbage collector. Table friendly heap memory stored object in array. Heap memory stores objects and arrays in Java. Array list also an object, so stored heap memory. So while the reference is stored in the stack, this is the reference, and this is object stored in heap and stack memory. So you understood the concept of arrays, I guess. Java is done. After this, start Android in parallel. Okay, after learning still you can start Android in parallel. String in Java. Let's learn about the string in Java. A string in Java is an object. We have already seen what is string. A string in Java is an object used to store text sequence of character. String name and image. Way to create string is using string literal most common string s1 hello stored in the string pool for memory optimization using new keyword. Case new object in heap memory. S2 new string dot hello stored in a string pool for optimization. Case a new object in heap memory. String is immutable. Once the string cannot be changed. Example: s equal to as a content system println hello. String is immutable. Immutable means it cannot be changed. Mutable means it can be changed because concat case a new string, it doesn't modify the original one. Correct way: s equal to s dot concat hello world. So common string method, string name Java system println name dot length. Length is what is the size of the string. Length of the string 1 2 3 4. So convert cases 1 to uppercase or lowercase this string. We can use this built-in function which comes with the string class is to uppercase and to lowercase. Compare two string. We can compare two string with structurality. Let's see, this is very interesting. I'll show you. So hello referentially equal or structurally equal. Let's see. True, because these are structurally equal. Hello true. These are structural equality to false side. Now one thing I want to show you. A equal to B. Let's see. Same. It's all same. Structural equality. These are not content. This is structural equal to, which is the hello is hello. Right. This is to and equal to B is compare reference, not content. Why this is turned out to be true? Because this is, so we have also seen that this also turned out to be true. Why? It's because it's referentially they are also equal because this is a same name. Because memory, when allocating memory for this word, is actually reference is actually single. It's pointing to single reference hello in memory. So that's why it structurally is also equal because hello is hello, and referentially is also equal because the word hello is in the same memory allocation of 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 A, and same this for B because they occupy the same memory somewhere on the computer. That's why it's both are equal. So if you want to access a character is access a character that index 0 is text, carry 0 is J. So substring is string author, substring is 03 and 0 to 3. This is 0 to 0 1 2 is 3 is and sorry, and string full. Important concept: when you write A equal to B equal to A and B, see, that's why I have already mentioned. When you write string A equal to hello, B equal to hello, both A and B may point to the same memory location in the string pool to save memory. String pool. That's exactly what I was telling about. Both A and B may point to the same memory location in the string pool to save memory, but string C equal new string creates a new object in heap. So this doesn't same. So let me show you an example. So these are equal, right? These are structurally equal, and referentially these are also equal because uh, A and B may point to the same memory location of the string pool to save memory. So that's why these are true. For example, these are true. These are true. These are true. But if we print this and copy it, let's see D and S out is C equal to D. C equal to, it will turn out to be a false. This will turn out to true because this is structurally equal. Structurally means the content is same, hello and hello. That's why this equal to turn out to be true. But if we give this reference equality, it will turn out to be false. False, right? Because they both objects are at different location stored in memory. So here exactly what is written there is A and B may point to same, gets a new object in the heap. See, in the heap memory it gets a new object, string C, string B. That's why it's giving false while comparing for reference equality. But structurally they are same because content is hello here and hello. That's why it's point to, both may point to same memory location in the string pool to save memory. That's why. So string versus string builder versus string buffer. String is mutable. No. String builder is mutable. Yes. String buffer is mutable. Tab safe. Yes. String tab safe. No. Speed slower. String builder is faster. Slower than builder. Example: string builder is mutable. Because string builder is stuff intermittently. String in Java is an immutable object used to store text. It is stored in string pool. So string in Java is immutable object used to store text. It is stored in string pool to memory optimization. String in Java is immutable object. String in Java is immutable object used to store text. It is stored in string pool for memory optimization. Command operation provided to built-in method. Command operation provided to built-in method. So what did thread safe? We have got a new word here. Thread safe. Let's see. What is thread safe? Thread safe is means a piece of code that object that was correctly when multiple threads use it at the same time without causing error or inconsistent data. So here string builder is not thread safe. Thread safe means the piece of code and object that was correctly when multiple threads use it at the same time without causing error and consistent data. Why thread safety is important? In multi-threading, several threads may try to read data, modify data, write data. If it's not handled properly, this will cause wrong value data corruption across. Example: imagine two threads increasing a counter, count equal to count 1. This looks simple, but internally it is read value, add 1, write value. Two threads is doing this at the same time may overwrite each of them. Example of thread safe approach is synchronization. Only one thread can execute this at a time. String builder, no thread safe. faster but unsafe in multiple threads. String buffer thread safe uses synchronization internally. String buffer new. String buffer. Think of shadow notebook. No thread safe. Everyone writes at the same time. Mesh thread safe. One person writes at the same time. Clean code. Interval friendly. Thread safe means a method or object that can be safely used in multiple threads. Actually, threads are used in the background task, network operation, and this kind of thing. It's a bit advanced concept as of now, but still, we're just preparing for the interview, so we know it, right? So thread is just calling the same function multiple times from defined setting, from defined environment, right? For example, some class is calling the same function, is trying to change it, and the other function is also trying to change it. So if we use the synchronize or string buffer, so only at particular time this internally is with synchronization, right? It's background task thing. So thread safe means method or object that can be safely using multiple threads at the same time without causing inconsistent result or data corruption. I have written an article on this about background task, so you can check out in my Medium blog. So we got to know about the string, right? Now some advanced concept is object-oriented programming. Classes and object. You've seen class and object, and encapsulation, addition, exception, hash map. Now let's go with the object-oriented programming in Java. Let's see. ChatGPT is fun, right? It's so much giving a good information to us. Object-oriented programming is a programming style where code is organized using objects and classes. In Java, OOPS is based on four main principles: encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. It basically means to hide the, hide the complex task and to exposing the stuff that is important and not too much important. That's called, abstraction and encapsulation. Inheritance is calling other, inheriting uh, qualities from other function so that we don't need to write the implementation. It's already written somewhere, we just have to use it. So it's all just a concept to minimize our work. Okay, do the external stuff, do the just to call the function, and what's behind the scene we don't need to know. So that's actually concept to object oriented programming basically. So let's talk about classes and object. Class is a blueprint you already seen. Declare a class, a member variable, string, bird, right, system of riding a bike. Okay, object is instance of a class. Bike, new bike, auto, with no argumenting parameter, no constructor. One.write, which will call this function, and this will get riding bike. Encapsulation means binding data and method together and restricting data access to private. Encapsulation means binding data and method together and restricting the data access using private. Restricting the data access using private. Okay, we have setted, we have added getter and setter instead of direct access. Encapsulation means binding data and method together and restrict direct access using private. So this we called private, and to exposing this variable from outside of world, we have created a get age for the getter and setter. Set age, other classes or function can call this and change this specific value. So this is called encapsulation. Why? It uses data hiding control access. Inheritance allows one class to reuse code from another classes. Class animals, void it, system of meeting, class dogs, extend animals, bird barking. Dog d dot eat, eating, d dot barking. So this one is inherited. Inheritance. I have learned as a financial perspective, that inheritance means people have hab dada ke zameen pesa, which inherited by its child or grandchildren. मौज मस्ती के लिए है ना, they don't need to do the hard work is already done, already inherited from their grand or for their father or grandfather, right? So it's a good example of inheritance. So when you declare a dog d dot eat is calling this eating from animal, and d dot barking, this is inherited function, and d dot bark is he created it, barking. Okay. Polymorphism. So you got to know about the classes, encapsulation, inheritance. Polymorphism means one method, many form. Method overloading, compile time polymorphism. Polymorphism is one method, many form. Add is name of this function is same, but method overloading. Name of this method or function is identical is add, but defines is the parameter. It's a and b returns addition. A plus b plus c returns addition with three variable. Method overriding, it's method overloading. Method overriding, it's runtime polymorphism. Compiled polymorphism, this is runtime polymorphism. Overriding. Class animal, animal sound. Class dog, extend animals, void sound, bark. So this is overriding, this is overloading. Abstraction. Abstraction means showing only essential details and hiding implementation. It's line encapsulation. Using abstract classes, abstract class, abstraction. Abstraction means showing only essential detail and hiding implementation. Abstract class is vehicle. Let's start. Class extend vehicle, hiding implementation. Implementation will be based on whoever class extend this abstract class. Class of extend vehicle. It's also like interface. Abstract class is same as like interface. Class car extend vehicle. It's a, I mean, interface is also same as abstract class. In abstract class we can give default value, but in interface we cannot give default value. Class car extend vehicle. Start with case. So this abstraction. So we got to know the basic OOPS concept. Class blueprint of object instance of class. Class is a blueprint. A class is a blueprint of data information, you can say. Class blueprint object instance of class encapsulation data hiding the image code reuse polymorphism one method many form. One method many form hiding complexity. Open Java based on four principles. OOPS in Java polymorphism encapsulation inheritance abstraction. It has writing modularism. It has writing modularism. It helps writing modularism. It has writing modular user maintainable code. So class and object encapsulation, abstraction, interface, abstract class, done it. Abstraction, interface, and abstract class, done it. Addition, addition, addition essential. Function versus method. Let's see what does it mean. Function versus method. In Java, term function method are often used interchangeably, but technically Java officially uses the term method. What many people call a function usually means a method that performs tasks and returns a value. What many people call a function is actually a method. Function usually means a method that performs a task and returns a value. Method in Java. Method is a block of a code defined inside a class. Class of the head of the calling the server and this is called method because it belongs to a class. Method. Function general meaning. In general programming, a function is a code of that performs a task and may returns a value. In Java, function exists only the method inside class. Function exists only as method inside the class. Java doesn't allow standalone function like C or Python. All functions in Java are method, but not all method is necessarily called function in casual space. Static method. I believe class static can also be static as can behave a traditional function technically still a method. method, instance method, static method, method with return value, method without return void. So in Java there is no standalone function. Everything is a method inside a class. A function usually refers to a method. A function usually refers to a method that performs a task and returns a value. Same function method exception handling. That's the exception handling. So when something goes wrong, we can put our block of code to exception handling for not to crash our app or to hide crashing the app or if there's data that is not coming or data that is has not been generated from third party, we can get the information that why it is crashing. With why it is crashing, we get to know without actually. Yes, app would not perform as expected, but it will not crash. So this is called exception handling. Exception handling is used to handle runtime error that the program doesn't crash and can continue running. Example exception division by zero, file not found, error index found above, null pointer. This is a simple exception. Try and catch. Code that may cause exception writing inside try. If error occurs, it handles by catch. Example public class main, the main try in result 10 by 0. This will return arithmetic exception. So instead of getting the error, we grab this and catch and giving a state result divide by 0. The program continues. Let me show you. So 10 divided by 0. If we run it, it will keep cannot divide by 0. Program continues. But if we don't put inside this, see arithmetic exception by 0. Our program breaks down, right? So that's why you have to put our put this problematic code inside try and catch to get at least a simple information about this red line, red scary lines. So yeah, finally block will run if the program gives exception or it's not give exception, it will run anyway. Finally goes runs always whether exception occurs or not. Used for cleanup, used for cleanup closing files, database collection, etc. So for example, if we keep the finally this always runs, cannot divide by 0, always no 5. Now this will not throw exception, it will still run. This runs always. See? This always runs even if this code is problematic or not. These are finally multiple cases, multiple multiple exception you can also catch. Okay, but if you want to give you one, then you can just specifically mention exception only without putting multiple catch because all inherit from this exception class. Okay, throwable is I don't use it, but people use it, but I don't use it. Simple idea. Throwable exception is great. Runtime exception, checked exception, checked plus unchecked exception, checked at compile time, checked, unchecked now. Example IO exception, null pointer exception is checked, unchecked. Null pointer is unchecked, this IO exception is checked. Throw keyword. Throw keyword used to declare exception in method signature. Interview exception handling in Java is try closure finally under runtime error type block contains risky code, catches enter exception and finally clean up codes. ठीक है ना भाई, ये सही है. So exception handling is done. Oh. talk about collections in Java. Java collection. Java collection framework is a set of classes interfaces to store and manage group of data dynamically. Unlike a collection can grow and shrink, provide many built-in methods. Main interface of collection, the most common used in collection is collection, list, set, queue, map, separate hierarchy. List, ordered, allowed duplicates, stores element in order and allowed duplicate. Example, array list, so string, add. Which are ordered, allowed duplicate, fast access by index. Other type, array list, linked list, vector, set, no duplicate, stores unique element, has set auto, output auto. Other set type, hashtag linked, hashtag tree set, queue, before, fast in, fast out. Structure, queue, linked list, q1, 2. For example, println removes fast element, queue.pull. Map key value pair, store data in key value form. Example, hash map integer string 1 auto, map.get 1 0 1. Anyways, calling it using key value storage key must be unique. Other map type, hashmap linked, hashmap tree map. Why collection versus separate class? Why collection is a separate classes? Collection stores object only, not not primitive. Valid integer. Collection stores primitive only. Collection stores object only, not primitive. Separate classes, integer list int, array versus array list fixed in size. Array is dynamic size faster, slightly slower here. Can store primitive, stores object only. So the Java collection framework provides an interface like list, set, queues, maps, and stores manipulate group object dynamically. So array list hashmap is also hashmap key value. Multi-threading concept for understanding only. So that's the last topic of today. After this, we will wrap up this video. Multi-threading in Java. It's a quite advanced concept. Let's see what ChatGPT says. So multi-threading means running multiple threads, small unit of program at the same time to perform tasks concurrently. A thread is the smallest unit of execution inside the process. Why multi-threading is used? It helps improve performance, do multiple tasks simultaneously, keep apps responsive, very important. So if you don't use multi-threading, then our app gets lag. It's a background thread and main thread. There is something called main thread is the UI thread that we see the program, and there's a background thread. So multi-threading does what does is put task on the background task so that don't block the UI I mean main thread. So that's why. So improve performance. Why multi-threading is used? It has improved performance. Do multiple tasks simultaneously keeps apps responsive. Very important in Android. Downloading a file without showing UI. Playing music while the scrolling list. Real life example. Thinking with a restaurant kitchen. One chef cooks, another packs food, another serves customer. All tasks happen at the same time. Faster work. Main thread versus background thread. Main thread UI thread handles UI. Must stay responsive. Long task can cause INR. App not responding. Important for background thread. Network call, database work, and file operation. So multi-threading. Multi-threading mostly used in background thread. So yeah, how thread work. The CPU switches between thread very fast. Thread A, thread B, thread B. It creates illusion in parallel execution. Way to create thread. In Java, extend thread implement the unable using executor modern approach. Concept thread T are running in background. So start problem in multi-threading. Two thread modify the same data at the same time. Two thread for the edge forever. Synchronize the incorrect data. okay, due to parallel execution. That's safe. That safe code works currently even on multiple thread access. String buffer. That's safe, not that safe. Multi-threading Android. Modern Android uses coroutine most common now. Executor, work manager, handler, looper, interval friendly. Multi-threading allows multiple parts of program to run. So in Android, there is concept coroutine that is hugely now used in Android. Before that used executor, work manager still used. Handler and looper is old concept. There is async task also used in Android. So multi-threading allows multiple parts of program to run concurrently, improving performance responsiveness in Android. It is used to keep the UI thread free. It is used in Android to keep the multi-threading allows multiple parts of program run concurrently, improving the performance and responsiveness. In Android, it is used to keep the method free. It in addition to in Android, it is used to keep the UI thread free while performing background operation network database tasks. While performing background operation like network or database tasks. If you perform so that's it. And he said to skip. Azim by said to skip JDBC file IO applied advanced sub API. So we have learned phase 0 day, I could say day 1. Okay. Tomorrow we'll jump to Kotlin. Okay. He says 15 days. He says phase 0 programming foundation for 15 days. We have covered in just a simple video because we already know those concepts, and those who are watching this already, I believe you also gone through this kind of thing. Okay. I'm just refreshing myself. Tomorrow, today is the day 0 actually. Tomorrow will be day 1. Okay. How many days? Phase means days. So in day 12 will be done, I guess. So that's it for this video for today. We have understood lots of concept through ChatGPT about the day 1. I'll see you in day 2. Tomorrow we'll learn about Kotlin. So that's it for today. See you. Bye bye.